Hello. So I'm going to be going over the different types of federal aid that students can be eligible for once they've completed their FAFSA. One of the types of federal aid that students can be eligible for is Stafford loans. There is the subsidized Stafford loan and the unsubsidized Stafford loan. Subsidized means that the interest is not accruing when you're in school, but there's a caveat to that. You have to attempt at least 6 credits in your semester in order to have your Stafford loans not go into repayment. Typically, your institution will keep you at a full-time status, which is attempting 12 credits, but you can always inquire with your academic advisor how many credits you'd be attempting. The unsubsidized Stafford loan, that has interest constantly accruing, and you'll know your interest rates from your institution, or you can just search the information and you can see what the interest rates are for the award year that you received aid. There are also origination fees for Stafford loans, and I like to refer to this as finder's fee that the government provides to students. So, for example, students that are freshmen or have received 0 to 23.99 credits, they're eligible for $3,500 gross in the subsidized Stafford loan. That's the amount that you're responsible for, but the amount that the institution receives after the origination fee has been taken into account is $3,464. So that's the actual amount applied to tuition. For dependent students in the unsubsidized Stafford loan, they're eligible for $2,000 gross or $1,980 net. For independent students, their unsubsidized Stafford loan gross amount is $6,000 or $5,938 net. So the amounts can vary. They have gone up a little bit. The origination fees went down, so the amount students were eligible for to cover tuition went up a little bit, but your institution will let you know how much federal aid you're receiving. The subsidized Stafford loan and Pell Grant are considered need-based aid, so not every student is eligible for need-based aid. And you could see your expected family contribution, or EFC, at the bottom of your student aid report or your SAR. This EFC helps the institution determine how much of the Pell Grant you're eligible for and how much of the subsidized Stafford loan that you're eligible for. If your EFC is 0, then you're eligible for the maximum amount of the Pell Grant, and you're eligible for the normal amount of the subsidized Stafford loan. If you have a high EFC, let's say it was like 9,000, then you're eligible for no Pell Grant, no subsidized Stafford loan, but the good news is you're eligible for the unsubsidized Stafford loan. The Stafford loans also have limits to how much you can receive. So as I mentioned before, those $3,500 for the subsidized Stafford loan, $2,000 for the unsubsidized Stafford loan, and $6,000 for the unsubsidized Stafford loan, those amounts are based on freshman level funding. So the amount of credits that you earn means that the more aid that you're entitled to. But the aggregate limit, the maximum amount of Stafford loans that you can receive for all students at any institution, is $23,000 for the subsidized Stafford loan for both dependent and independent students, whereas dependent students get $31,000 total for both subsidized and unsubsidized for their aggregate limit. So that $31,000, that takes into account the $23,000 in the subsidized Stafford loan. So the remaining amount, that's what you're eligible for essentially in the unsubsidized Stafford loan. But let's say that you're not eligible for the subsidized Stafford loan, then the full $31,000, that's how much you're eligible for in the unsubsidized Stafford loan. For independent students, they're eligible for the $23,000 in the subsidized Stafford loan, and then $57,500 total, both subsidized and unsubsidized. Same scenario, if they're not eligible for subsidized Stafford loan, then they get the full $57,500 in the unsubsidized Stafford loan. There is also, that's similar to the Pell Grant, It's not called an aggregate limit though, it's called a lifetime eligibility usage, or LEU, and that is 600%. So students are eligible for 100% of the Pell Grant every academic year. So let's say you were eligible for $2,000 in the Pell Grant. You'd receive that full 100%, that full $2,000 in your academic year, and then you'd have 500% of your lifetime eligibility usage remaining. And there is a site where you can view your Stafford loans and your aggregate limit and your Pell Grant, how much any institution has received, not just your current institution. It's called the National Student Loan Database System, and I'll provide a link to that in the description of this video. And you can utilize that at any time. The financial advisors actually utilize that to see where you're at in your aggregate limit and whatnot. And I believe it also lets you know who your loan servicer is for that, so it's definitely beneficial. And you'd be logging in with your FSA ID information, and that is the information you utilize to log in and complete your FAFSA. So it's important to keep that information, but if you do lose it, there is assistance for you to access that information again, and ensure that you don't provide that information to other people, because it's tied to your social security number that has all of your information there, so it's important to keep that secret. But that's essentially everything for federal aid. And again, if you have any questions, if there's anything I can help you with, just let me know. I'm not going to have access to your information to view your aggregate limits, but I can let you know any additional information you might need. But thank you so much for watching.